Y'all give it up for Dave Stewart and his crew, D Stewart Productions, setting up all this stuff. Also give it up for Brian Price right here. Always coming out and shooting photos. Even when I forget to ask, I get a text from Brian. He's like, I'll be there shooting photos. I'm like, good, I almost screwed that up. And so I appreciate the heck out of him. If you ever need photos for any of your events, by the way, you got to find this guy. He's an Orlando photography legend. He shoots more photos than probably anyone in the city, and he goes to more events than any of us could imagine. So make sure you check him out, brianprice.com. That's B-R-I-O-N, though, not the way you'd think you would spell it. And then Dave Stewart, he's got a whole crew, audio, video, live production. If you're ever doing an event and you need live production or you need like video podcast style, he's the one that sets up at our parties and it looks like a podcast. He does the whole thing. How many of you guys have seen our podcast videos from last month here or last session here so far? Don't be shy. Okay, at least half of you. So give it up to Dave and his crew, D Stewart Productions, one more time. Also, I'm just going to mention, if you need a world-class saxophone player, Dave also tours with the legend Al Green as his sax player, so he's pretty damn good. And he'll sell out, like when he does Judson's, it sells out. So if you ever see him performing, go grab a ticket. And if you ever need someone to perform, like maybe you got a holiday party coming up in a few months or at the end of the year, Dave should be one of the first people you think to call solo or with the band. So I'm just going to plug that for him because he's here every single damn month. Or an open house. That's actually a really good idea. Brokers Opens, he would crush it. So anyway, y'all ready to roll? So welcome everybody to RP Playbook. This is our new session. We started this thing like 84, 85 months ago. And Orlando Real Producers, if you don't know, we started that 112 months ago or so. So we're over 9 years running. Can we give everyone just a round of applause for keeping us going? So it was like the World Cup 2018 it was a month before. And we decided there weren't enough places where the top agents in the industry were actually teaching and sharing what they're doing without an ulterior motive and without trying to recruit you to something, sell you coaching, join a broker, whatever. So we decided, being objective and neutral and ranking the people, that we just bring everybody together and hear from them without any ulterior motive, and to really bridge a gap between the top 500 and all of the realtor community that wants to be in the top 500. So I appreciate you guys. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here, because there's 24,000 agents in the city, and most of them want to sell what these people sell, but most of them won't get their ass out of bed and show up at this to hear what they're doing. Is that not correct? And you guys did. So you fought traffic, you did all that. So I appreciate you guys. One more time, give yourselves a round of applause. Sorry for all the clapping, but I think it's deserved. All right, so we're going to kick this off. If you don't know Real Producers, we rank the top 500 agents. We throw quarterly parties and monthly masterminds and print a monthly magazine all about the top performing agents. And what's cool about it is they can't buy their face on this cover, they can't buy their ranking, and they can't buy their awards. So like, unlike a few other things in the industry, we're probably the only one that actually ranks people and only sends invites and attention based off of their actual production that's confirmed. And so what's cool about it is everyone that's about to speak sells at a really high level. The first two people I'm going to interview have consistently been in the top 25 agents over and over and over and over again. And probably for 2 decades before I started ranking everybody too, or a decade or two each. And what's cool is we had all the agents in the city vote for who the most professional agents that they work with were. And both of these people not only sell ridiculous amounts of real estate, like hundreds of millions in just the last few years, but they both won and were voted by their peers as the most professional people to do business with. So could we give a big round of applause for Mel and Jenni for joining us today? Because I think that's pretty awesome. And Mark won too. Mark won Team of the Year, which is also pretty awesome, amazing award. Everyone voting for Team of the Year, and that's super cool when other teams are celebrating your team's success. So give it up for Mark. So here's what I'm going to do. We've got about 90 advertising partners that make Real Producers happen, and they're all referred by top 500 agents. So what that means, if you meet someone in the room that does title, or they do inspections, or they sell insurance, they're not here by accident. They're someone that's really damn good at what they do. And you probably want to know them. So nobody gets in here just by bringing bagels or donuts. These people are vetted. They support Real Producers on multi-year deals. So they want to know that you can come to this for years on end, not just show up, bring some bagels, and hope you buy from them next week. Does that make sense? Can we give one more round of applause to all the sponsors? I'm going to let a few of them speak. But if you meet any of them, connect with them. The best way you could thank us if you learned something today is hit up one of the sponsors and just connect with them and see if there's a fit for you to do something with them. And some of these people probably need anyway and don't have anyone like. So you can also go to OrlandoRealProducers.com, click partners, and you can see all of our partners if you want to find someone that you need a connection to. So anyway, let's just roll this, let this thing roll. Let's bring all the sponsors of today up, and we're just going to do like a roll call. We'll line up, and each of you just take 60 seconds, say your name, who you're with. Come on up here, sponsors. And just say your name, who you're with, and your 60-second, tell them what you do and why they should hit you up. And we'll just roll right through this thing. And at some point, I'll just jump in and name the people that didn't come. You got it. Let's roll.
Hey, everybody. I'm Joe. I'm with Roof Bids. So we're not a roof contractor, so you don't know anybody like me. There's only one roof marketplace in Central Florida, and it's myroofbids.com. So what is myroofbids.com? It's not Angie's List. It's not Thumbtack. We are similar to Orlando Real Producers, a website where you can find local vetted roof contractors, and it's an exclusive group. We don't let just anybody on, but if you do know a quality roof contractor, please let me know. The advantage of going through myroofbids.com is that you can get 3 real quotes lined up side by side, all within 24 to 48 hours. Enter an address, answer a couple questions. Real eagle view measurements go to our contractors with that scope of work. You want this to close in 30 days or get paid at closing. You enter that into the scope of work, and the contractors know I will either bid or don't bid. And if they bid on it, you know it's going to happen because they don't want to get kicked off of our platform. So you need a repair on a leak. You need an inspection. You don't want to call a roofer and have them say, I'll be there Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and then they don't show up. You go through myroofbids.com, and if they say yes, they will be there for you. So we're here to support you guys and serve you.
Love it. myroofbids.com.
Is this on? Hi, everyone. I'm Molly. I'm with Gallagher Insurance. We are a full-service insurance brokerage, and we specialize in personal lines insurance, so home, auto, boat, anything you can think of personal lines. We have over 30 different companies that we're able to shop, and we have around 20 agents, which helps us get 24-hour quotes out, which helps you guys get to the closing table faster. Feel free to reach out. I'll be hanging out after. Molly with Gallagher.
Good morning. I don't even know why I have a microphone because I talk really loud, so this is probably really loud. This is really early for you guys and for me, yes. So I am with East Coast Title. We have 5 locations. We're right here local to Winter Park. Everybody knows what Title is. It's boring. I'm not trying to sell you anything. So what I do want to tell you about is on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, we are expanding our Winter Park office. We would love to invite you guys to come to our Cinco party. We'll do some nachos, Mexican food. We'll do some margaritas, some Dos Equis, some Coronas. Sounds good, right?
That sounds good to me.
And kick your Cinco de Mayo off with us. We'll do it from 3 to 5. We're over on Canton Avenue in Winter Park, so stay tuned. We'll push that out to you guys, and I'd love to see you. Toast to Cinco de Mayo, toast to the market, and thanks for coming. Robin, East Coast Title.
Love it.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Y'all awake? Okay, I don't know. Y'all awake? Yeah. Okay. Heather Hurry, Pillar to Post, the Jeff Mackey team, home inspections and commercial inspections. Sidebar, who here has had an issue with longer than average days on market? Anybody in here? Yeah, okay, don't raise your hand because we know the answer. So something that we do that I'm just going to bring back to your memory. Pre-listing or market-ready inspections. Just want to make sure the guts are good, if you will, prior to putting that on the market. Also, you're now more knowledgeable. You now know kind of basically a cost that possible repairs may take. And at the end of the day, you're probably going to get a higher price point for that home because you're more well-informed, right? So that's what we do, education and experience. We've been in the business 25 years. If you need anything, you have any questions, you guys know my number. You probably have called me. We've talked. I know a lot of people in this room. So we're very grateful. So I'm going to end with this, and I just want it as an affirmation. So you repeat after me. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Okay, that's how we're going to end it. Have a good class
Love
today.
it. That's Heather Hurry with the Jeff Mackey team at Pillar to Post.
It's going to be hard to follow that up because that was so confident. I'm going to try my best, Heather. What's up, guys? I'm Mohsen with Florida Home Photo. We do real estate media, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's a lot of real estate media companies out there, photographers, videographers, but that's really all they are. They're not really locked in on your success, and that's what really sets us apart. We are your partner. So what that means and what that looks like is showing up to your listing, helping you position it to actually sell, scripting your videos for you so you sound like an absolute celebrity on camera, coaching you, directing you so you feel the most confident, showing up to your brokers open, helping market your listing again. Did I say that right? Market your listing again, teaching free personal branding classes and social media classes so you actually can show up, whether it's with us or without us. And that's all before spending a single dollar with us. That's exactly who you're working with. And if you want the proof, pull out your phones, go to Instagram. If you search Florida Home Photo, you'll see everything that we do. My face is on there. I get nervous talking up here, but I'm on camera so much, so I don't even understand how that works. But we're giving free value all the time. And if you do one thing better, go to Instagram, go to the search bar, and search real estate marketing. Beyond other videos that you see, like Ryan Serhant, you're going to see my face. You're going to see us coaching agents. You're going to see us providing free value. That's who we are. That's who you're going to work with. And the decision is pretty clear. So let us know if you want to work with us. DM us. Reach out to me. We're happy to help. Thank you.
Love it. It's Mohsen, Florida Home Photo. All right, guys, let's keep this rolling.
Hi, I'm Aaron Duba from Cross Country Mortgage. I just wanted to say thank you to Aaron Luden and Real Producers for having us out and putting together such a great event for the last 9 years. We have been partnered with Aaron for multiple years through multiple companies.
Since before we started.
Yeah.
Day negative one, yeah.
Day one. So here at Cross Country Mortgage, I just wanted to talk a little bit today about common sense underwriting for the self-employed individual. You know, deals get tough. We wish we had all perfect A-type clients, but guess what? We don't, right? We need to make it happen. We need to think outside the box. So at Cross Country Mortgage, we actually do everything in-house. We underwrite in-house. We service in-house. We close the loan in-house. Everything is within our walls. So I just wanted to reach out and say thanks again. And once again, Aaron Duba from Cross Country Mortgage. Look forward to seeing you all and speaking with you all a little bit more.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. It's Cross Country Mortgage.
Hey, guys. I'm Wally from Fusion Home Loans. I'm a ditto everything he said. Same thing. Retail lender, in-house, same strategy. You guys are probably used to seeing a much taller person here. Chris has been a member of this for much longer. Juan has been here more recently. I am the Portuguese-speaking LO in our office. So to help you guys cater to the Brazilian market that's taken over West Orlando, I would love to help you. All right, so if you guys have time after, I'm happy to chat.
Remind him your name.
Wally, Fusion Home Loans.
Wally with Fusion Home Loans. And then we're going to just give a 1, 2, 3 clap. On the count of 3, I'm going to read all the names, and then we're just going to do a 1, 2, 3 clap. Then we're going to get this thing started. So we got the title firm. We got Shea Walker with Shea Walker Photo. We got Blue Haven Pools. All of you probably need a pool company, so make sure you look them up. And we already had Gallagher Insurance. We already had East Coast. Hatfellow Productions, Marlins. The tall guy with the hat, he's not here right now. He's probably shooting photos. So 1, 2, 3, clap on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, y'all, for showing some love to all these sponsors. You guys ready to learn? All right, we're just going to kick this thing right off. I'm going to dive right into it. I could give you guys long bios, but Mel Bernstein, these guys are legends. If you don't know, you aren't looking at the rankings each and every year. Mel sold $110 million in just the last 2 years alone. Jenni was the top solo agent in all of Greater Orlando just 2 years ago. And so the two of them have sold hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. We're trying to do the math, and we can't figure out if it's like $500 million, easily $1 billion, or a lot more, because it's been a while, and I don't have 20-year records, and I didn't give them enough time to figure it out. But Mel's probably sold over $1 billion. Jenni thinks it's less, but she probably has also sold $1 billion. And I'm going to guess between the two of them, there's at least $1.5 billion, if not $2 billion sold over their careers. Is that not pretty amazing? So you're about to get a wealth of information and knowledge, and I'll introduce Mark too, even though I'm going to bring him up later, but I might as well tell him since I already started. Mark Serhant, he runs he's the market leader now with Serhant. He runs his own team, or he's personally not in production now that he's running Serhant, or a little less directly in production, but he's built a team that was selling tens and tens of millions of dollars within just a couple years. I want to say the team was doing like $50 to $100 million a year just last year. Is that right? And so he's one of the best leaders on this. And when we get to the part about brands, the three of them are going to have a really good conversation because they're with three of the strongest brands in the industry right now. So can we give a giant round of applause to all our panelists and people? They're not really a panel. I shouldn't call it panelists because we're going to do this more like an interview. But Mel and Jenni, I'm going to bring you guys up and let's just let's kick this thing off. Y'all can sit whichever seats you want. Oh, there we go. We got the plants and stuff. Let's give it up for Dave coming in, making this thing happen. Look how much better that looks. I was about to say, how are we going to do this without the plants?
Yeah, he's got to bring the plants in.
No, you think I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I am kidding. All right. Dave, my books don't look dumb here, do they? Oh, they can't. This isn't screwing up your shot, is it? All right, I'm going to leave it there and I'll give that away later anyway. That light, I wish I knew how to fix that part. I could have you switch to, you could sit on that chair easily if you like. Is that fun? You got the cameras in a way that it works, right? All right, cool. I just didn't want to screw this up. Yeah, you guys this will be good. This will be good. We're not controlling the lights, so that's why I'm like, oh, maybe we are controlling the lights.
It's okay, Aaron. I don't burn.
We're not
so
supposed to be controlling the lights, but this works. It's nice because now there's no audience. Some people are scared to do this, and I'm definitely going to tell them, like, you won't even notice they're here, right? Exactly. Y'all make some noise so we know you're here? All right, cool. Let's kick this thing off. Here's where I want to go. I want to talk about, like, I guess first how you both started, but what I really want to talk about are, like, the fundamentals of how you've built such, like, I think, legendary businesses, which you guys probably don't like me saying it like that, but built such solid, consistent businesses where year in, year out, decade in, decade out, you're still at the top. So can we hear about how you got started and then like how you started to transition from like started to when did it click?
Oh gosh, okay. For me, it was really never a destination. I was an art director out at Disney and Universal in post-production. We had a couple investments in real estate and I started getting interested. We were trying to have kids at that time, and I felt like, wow, this could be a really flexible career that I could have so much time off. And yeah, we all know how that goes. So that's kind of how I started. I'm a big proponent of having a side hustle when you start and going all in on the real estate. But I certainly did graphic design for a couple years while I was getting real estate started. So that's kind of how I started. It's been very slow for me. I think we were talking about this. There's been no silver bullet for me. I'm a native, but I started selling very, very small properties and just started working myself up. I did not go big. It took a very long time before I did luxury properties.
And right now, you're one of the top agents in Winter Park today. That's a statement from me, just to be clear. But tell them about where you first started. You told me about.
Yeah,
where were your first sales?
I first started in Eatonville. So I had a gentleman that kind of gave me a break, took me under his wing and, gave me properties. They were low properties, but they were building blocks, and everything's been a building block for me. I've never necessarily shot for the moon. I wanted to make sure I was ready to do whatever I was going to do next. So it's been a very slow, steady progress, very consistent, and each year has been, more than the last year. So yeah, exactly. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Mel, how about you? How'd you get started, and when did it click?
So we started, when I say we, it's the royal we. My better half for almost 31 years now is up in the stands there. We started just like you. This was back in the 90s. We started off working in the mortgage business. We then started our own mortgage business. 2008 reared its head. I've been licensed in real estate since '96, and we had a dual office at that time. Things were going really crazy, so we shelved the mortgage business, started focusing on real estate. At that point in time, it was West Orlando, just flipping small properties, chasing the leads, chasing the business. We bought into Zillow, bought into Realtor.com, bought a majority of The Voice, so 90, 100, 110 transactions a year of a smaller volume, smaller value than we are now. And then what we did is we made that decision. We wanted to get into the higher value space. And then as we were accumulating sales in various communities, and our market is a small market. We are just Lake Mary, Longwood, Sanford, west of I-4, the Markham Woods corridor. So how did we transition into that? Well, that took some work. So we started focusing on our successes in the Orlando market, using our volume, using that with postcards and mailers, and they do work. We still do them today. I'm going to leave here. I'm going to go drop mail myself, and it works. So we use those sales and that volume to push ourselves out to all the sellers. And so as we gained one sale here, one sale there, we then changed our marketing to reflect that sale, to then reflect that community. And so now we are, I drop 5,000, 10,000 pieces at a time. They're not little small postcards, they are gigantic cards. I've done 15 by 10, which is not supposed to be mailed, but they let me do it. But they're typically large scale, high caliber stuff because we are catering to the finest homes in our market. And for us, over the past 10 years-ish, past 10 years or so, that's where we really started to kind of catch the wind behind our sales. And then we've, again, being in our small market, it's easier for us to target that. And we come up in most conversations, we have really big signage where it's allowed. And that's how we've slowly been able to have that steady increase in our volume, in our business, in our average price point.
And the market share.
And the market share, yeah. We have a pretty good handle on it.
Love that. And Jenni, I would assume that there's a lot of similarities there. Is that a fair assumption?
I mean, in the few minutes that we talked over there, I feel like this is a mirror image in a lot of our approaches. So I think we both feel like we're really probably your most boring guest that you've ever had because we both believe in slow consistency. I applaud the people that get right into the business that say, I'm going to go out and start selling $1 million properties. Like, go get them. I mean, that's awesome. I did not do that. I didn't feel confident enough to do that. And I felt like I really cut my teeth, much like Mel, during the hard years on some really hard deals. Still do hard deals. Still terrible short sales. Terrible foreclosures back then. But you cut your teeth and you learn how to talk to people and you learn how to communicate and you learn how to have those hard discussions and how to deal with lenders and how to deal with title and how to problem solve and how to keep your cool. And so, those hard deals I don't regret because even though I lost a lot of sleep at night, they got me to where I am. I'm a much more confident agent now walking into rooms because I had those difficult transactions.
I love that. When you're saying that you learned all these skill sets in the hard times, I want to ask both of you a little bit about how embracing the challenge of real estate being tough in a tough market helped you succeed today. So let's extrapolate it a little bit for both of you because I think in a market like this, it's important for people to be reminded that embracing the thing is a great thing. They can build the skill set to stay on top for a long time. And can we kind of talk about some of the other things that you learned then that help you succeed today?
Well, I think gratitude, number one, because things were crazy, right? For lack of a better word. And you really did have to fight for every transaction. There were some easy ones, of course, but by and large, things were overall difficult. So reflecting back, which I try not to do, you realize that those efforts and those trials that you went through really prepared you for the difficulties of today, which I think are similar, but they pale in comparison, wouldn't you say? But dealing with, a foreclosure or a short sale, and back then, people were still trying to figure out how to do those processes, how to get through them. And I think it creates a level of confidence where at least I feel, not that I've seen everything, but I'm prepared for anything. Nothing, and that's one of the things that, if you look on our Google My Business page, testimonials that, I'm just cool, level, right? Because it's not a lot that really phases me. I don't get rattled. I get rattled on the inside, but being through that helps me go into that next highest listing that I've ever had, right? So you always get a little bit nervous when you're doing something outside of your norm, but that doesn't faze me anymore, right? I just walk in there, I'm me, this is what I've done, this is who I am. They've already checked me out, they know what we do, how we do it, and they called me, right? I don't solicit business. I put myself out there, building our brand, and wait for the calls to come, and that gives me the confidence of dealing through all of that. And then you have the title issues, the appraisal issues, all of those things that even sellers that are in the luxury market, they're just like everybody else, they're like you and me. They don't know they'll read an appraisal upside down, or they don't even know how to read a title policy. They've bought and sold plenty of homes, but they still rely on us and our expertise, and going through those multitude of transactions and the difficulties, I think, is what's really prepared me to deal with that on a daily basis.
Love that. Let's talk about today. What's your business look like today? Are you a team? Are you a solo agent? And where does most of your business come from right now?
Ooh, great question. So that has really changed for me in the past 6 months. So I left a brokerage that I was with for over 23 years and made the move over to Compass. And at that time, I knew that I wanted to completely rebuild my team and do a whole new structure. So for me, it was about finding all of the right people that weren't exactly like me, that complemented me. We have a team of, I think, 5 or 6 now, and we all have different strengths. So, some of us are very analytical. I come from more of a creative perspective. So we all kind of trade ideas. So for me, that was really my goal and something that I wanted for a long time, and became a reality, just recently.
Love that.
We are a team of 3. We just recently brought on a teammate. It was something that Tina and I have thought about for a very long time. I'm the rainmaker. I run all the business. I'm in the field. I handle virtually all the steps that our business needs to operate on a day-to-day basis. It's been like that forever. That's just how we've done things. Over the past 7 years or so, Tina has been a real help in assisting on the back end, helping sellers with staging prep. That's really big for us. We don't charge for it. It's a value add. We don't bring staging. We just do staging consultations. It helps us to help them prepare their home, which helps us get the best imagery, helps us sell it. But since December of last year, we do have one teammate, and she's really just as an assistant to me on a daily basis. She's out showing property right now while I'm here, and that has been very rewarding. And she's very much an extension of our experience. For us, it's obviously our results, and that's why people hire us. But once we're involved, it's how do we perpetuate the experience. So if we want to step out of town, step out to do anything, we have somebody that can be in our place and still continue the same experience from the day that they met me through the time I come back.
When did you both decide it was time to have an assistant or a person on the did some of it?
When I was going to have a heart attack. It's been a while. I can't really put my finger on it. I think I started with the hey, I'm gonna do the hire transaction broker, and then that moved into okay, I need a little bit more. Oh, okay, now I can have someone full time, but maybe they can do this and that. So it's evolved over time, but I take it really seriously to feed my team to make sure there's enough for all of us. Remember when I made the first decision to hire an assistant, I was really grappling with it. And I was talking to this other agent. She goes, "It's not a big deal. I mean, you can just let them go in a couple months if you're not doing well." And it literally, I felt like I had a dagger to my chest. I can't imagine anyone doing that to me or taking my livelihood that lightly. So I was slow to do that until I knew that I was going to be able to support that. Yeah.
Love that. By the way, Mel brought up staging, so I got to give a shout out to the staging company who set the stage today. They're not here, but they did set everything up. Could we give a quick round of applause to the stage company? We're good. I cut out for a second, but we rolling. But it's literally called The Staging Company. Sorry. I didn't mean like this. It's called The Staging Company. That's their name. It's really easy to remember now, right? Shout out to them, and thanks for asking. Let's talk about really like how you double down on the right area. So actually, let's backtrack before that. Let's talk about how you landed your first listing in the areas that you wanted to stay in. Like, what was the first experience going into selling a luxury home or a gated community, whatever that looked like to you, that was, where you were like, I want to stay here?
Well, I mean, some of my team members are here and they're probably going to be like, oh, get this again. I'm a big proponent of before you do anything, working where you live. I don't care if it's an apartment complex and you're sending out postcards for those first-time home buyers. I don't care where you live. You should be promoting yourself because you know that area better than anyone. You can talk about the schools, you can talk about the shopping, you can talk about the family events, you can talk about what it's like, during the holidays, all the special things. So if you're not doing anything, you should at least be sending postcards. If you can't afford postcards, do handwritten letters. It doesn't matter, but you should be sending them out to your street, your area, and create a farming area. So I can't recall the first one, but I'm sure it was my own neighborhood and where I lived.
I love that.
Yeah.
Brennan, I got to give a shout out to Brennan Boyles from Karen Wilkins' team. He lives on my street, and I've lived behind, I won't say the major brokerage, but like they're just up the street. There's probably 5 or 6 major brokerages within a mile, and the only person who's ever come to my house in 15 years is this guy, Brendan. And he, every month or so, he's run, or every quarter at least, he has some type of community event or something and they're usually inexpensive. He wrote something, he printed something, he's hosting a movie night on his driveway with all the people with kids. And I'm not going to hang out with all the people with kids, but I won't forget that he's an agent and he lives nearby.
That he hustled
he's
to do
trying.
that,
So just it just tells you, like, it doesn't have to be crazy or fancy. It's amazing what a little bit of effort can do. But Mel, how about you? When was the first time, and what did it look like?
Well, I agree. Where you live, whether it's your community, if you're a homeowner or if you're renting, but wherever you are, make that your focal point. And if for some reason you prefer not to market in your area, just pick an area and just blanket it. It doesn't have to be persistent every single month, but you should be reaching out. You should be knowledgeable of the area. For us, it was our community. So that's where we really started to make a major push. Once we already kind of hit one milestone, so we kind of had a plan where we wanted to grow the business, and not necessarily in transaction size. We wanted to cut back on transaction size and increase volume, and everything kind of falls in play. But it was our community, and I used to run around this. We had a 2-mile circle around our community, and for a while I was running around the community. So it was, the running realtor, something stick that I had, but it's all about just recognition, right? So you're putting yourself in front of a confined audience, a targeted audience, and they're seeing you, just like your realtor friend. He was doing his version of getting FaceTime with people. For us, it was FaceTime, being in the community, walking around the community, jogging around the community, dropping postcards, so they see the face. And we put up signs with our face on it. And I leave them there till the county says, take them down. And even then after that. So, it's the joke that, at least in our little area, that people, they'll say, I see you everywhere. I'm like, that's a win.
Yeah.
Call me next time. So it was our own community. That's a great place to start.
So last month, how many of you guys were with us last month? I can't see you raise your hands, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But it was funny because last month I was like, how many of you guys were at the theater? And the whole room didn't, like, one person raise their hand. I asked like 3 times, and I was like, oh, really? Only one? So it's crazy how much it changes. So, but last month, Jenni Weimer was talking about Karen's team, and she was saying that a lot of people spread themselves so thin, their marketing makes no sense. She was saying that you might not want to like putting a booth at the home show or putting a booth at this thing. It doesn't make sense unless it's the area you're farming. So she was saying that Karen can sponsor the Avalon Park event because her signs are there, her postcards are there, her whatever. So if Mel doubles down on, that area, I'm sure you're the same way in Winter Park. But if a random agent decides I'm going to go do and probably couldn't do the art festival that easily, but let's just say they could, it's not that simple for someone from some other area to just break in without being seen everywhere by the person. So I think it's cool that you guys focus on a smaller area so they can see you in print, on signage, out and about, see other people talking about you on their socials. So I think the name of the game is staying in a small enough area that it works. How big is if you were to be, how big of an area do you actually sell in regularly?
Well, I mean,
miles?
my farm area is the Winter Park, Maitland, College Park, Orlando. But because I was raised here, I do business all the way from New Smyrna Beach all the way to Winter Garden, because people have needs, and I really believe in diversification. I am not at the point where I'm just going to say I'm only going to take this level. Like, I will help your kids, I will help your mother, I will help whatever you need. To make sure that I'm taking care of your portfolio.
Do you market there though?
I
would
do
you
not
in
market
Smyrna?
there. And that's a really good point, and that's something else I talk about a little bit. When you have a sale, like let's say I sell something in the far reaches of Winter Garden, I'm not necessarily probably going to market that area. What I will do though is do a postcard to my farm area of that home. So again, it is consistency, repetition. Again, it might not be in the neighborhood, but you're still showing to your farm area that
you're selling
selling.
And the types of properties you're selling.
Yeah, I think.
You guys caught that? Did everybody catch that?
Someone asked me, I don't know, it was 15 years ago or something, and it was a friend, and she said, I wasn't doing that at that time, and she said, how's everything going? Are you still in real estate? I really thought I was going to die, because here I am hustling out there every day, selling stuff, and like, this is a friend of mine, and this is way before like major social media. And I'm like, I've got it, the humbleness in me was like, I can't let anybody know what I'm doing. Like, I was like, all right, that's done. We're going to start doing more. We're going to start, making sure that everybody knows what we're doing. So I think that's important.
So what are some of the things you do to double down once you got into the right community? We've sort of talked about them, but can we kind of extrapolate? Let's say someone in this audience gets a listing that they're really excited about, in an area they're really excited about. What are the first 2 or 3 things that you would tell them they should do if they want to focus on that area more?
Well, definitely postcards. You want to showcase.
The theme today.
To which group? How much of a radius?
So I do EDDM. So I don't
Every door
particularly
direct?
target one. If it's every door direct mail, it's the cheapest way to send mail. You can do first class and target one particular community. But if you do EDDM, you'll get that whole community plus some on the periphery. And you can have probably 3 times the reach for the same
and those
price.
people often want to be in the community anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, look, I'll just put it out there, and for the same price, I get 3 times the coverage. But definitely postcards. They do work. At least 3/4 of the time when I go into a listing appointment, there will be a card or 2 of mine sitting somewhere, and they recognize it. Have that match your online persona. You have to have it all consistent, because they will Google you, they will go check you out. Whatever your persona is, whatever you're putting forth as what you are expecting somebody to want to hire you for, needs to be consistent. But definitely, you get a listing you're excited about, just listed. If that's the only one you have, keep just listed until it's sold, and then even when it goes pending, you have just listed and pending. Keep hammering that until somebody else calls you.
You send it to the same people, though? You send the same house to the same people?
I will send it to the same community, yeah. That's what we did, and we don't do it so much now just because of our overall volume. We don't have to really invest that much. But if that's the one listing you have, so what we send right now, my postcard is going to have the last 5 sales on it, and they're all within our market. So getting back to your question about your farm area,
That's even if you sold one somewhere else in the middle, right? Am I right? If you have 5 in the farm and you had like 2 or 3 on the outskirt, your marketing shows the 5 in the farm, right?
So unless it's for us, unless it's a mega sale, we have all of our marketing is tailored to the communities that we send it to, and so our market, the west of I-4, Markham Woods corridor, Lake Mary, Longwood, Sanford, is really kind of one market. So I can show one that's sold in Alacoa Lakes. I can show one that's sold in Lake Markham Preserve. You're talking the north side and the south side. It's still relevant to that market. I wouldn't necessarily showcase our sale in Mount Dora unless it's a mega sale. Usually it'll be targeted towards that particular community, so they'll resonate with that. And we'll kind of keep it per community or per region. For us, it's a region. We're not as diverse as a Winter Park. It's really just one long strip, and that's where we focus.
Where do you guys meet more people? I mean, I know you're both out, and I know it's a silly question, but what are some of the places that you plug into to double down on a community? Because Jenny, I think you and I were talking about how you weren't doing a lot of marketing. You're just a part of the community. So I want to kind of get it. And Mel, I would assume that you're doing a lot of postcards, both. But what are some of the things you're doing to make sure that you're meeting people, connected to the community, connecting with people, staying connected to the community?
Yeah. That's a tough
expanding your
one. I
circles?
mean, I don't want to talk for Mel, but I mean, I would imagine he's probably similar to me in that we're both so busy that, I mean, we're with people all day. I mean, it's all day. So I don't really get out much to do a lot of social things. This is my socialization. But what I do believe in doing is being very authentic to whatever it is you do. So if you have children at a certain school, you need to be very involved in that school. If you are, one of our team members is Taekwondo, be very involved in that. Like, whatever is authentic and sincere for you, people can tell if you're just joining something to join it and to get business. It's fake, it's salesy, I don't like it. So if you're not going to get involved, if you're not going to really, sink your teeth into something, then don't do it. You're going to, again, spread yourself too thin. It's much better to think about your lifestyle. If you have kids, you've got lots of opportunities there. If you don't have kids, then you have hobbies, you have other things you like to do. So that's really what I believe in.
Got it. I was going to say, you got more opportunity. If you don't have kids, you can go make kids. Just pick the right community and you'll be... I'm just kidding.
We're in a small little town, so Lake Mary, it's not that small, I guess, but for us, our social outreach, I guess, is F&D Prime. Cool restaurant bar. The bar is fantastic. We sit there for happy hour. We have our table, which is right there. We overlook the bar. As soon as you walk inside, you see us.
Your answer is better than mine.
Does it have your
And
name
more
on it,
times-
or it's just people know?
People walk in and, hey, how's it going? Whatever, and buy them a drink, don't buy them a drink. People walk up. Yeah, I'm getting ready to sell my house. 2 more years. I'm like, I'll be here. 2 years tonight. We'll have happy hour. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We also, again,
Put it in your calendar? I'm just kidding.
But we do have banners at the local schools. So just FaceTime. My whole goal is the more people can see my face, whether they like how short my hair is now or not, I've got to update that. That's going to change this month. But it's just recognition. And in our market, it is all recognition. And that's what we really try to focus on.
How do you judge? You had said earlier, I meant to ask you this, but you were talking about seeing the postcards and that postcards work. How do you judge worked? What are you doing to judge whether your postcards work? Because I'm going to guess that some people, their version of what they think is worked is very different than what you guys probably think worked looks like.
It's important to know that you could send out hundreds of postcards. It doesn't mean it's going to translate into a sale. All it does is make sure that people, it's exposure, they know who you are, it's optics, it's visibility, it becomes recognition, and it becomes, okay, when they do make that choice to sell or to purchase, you want to be one of the ones they interview. You want to have a foot in the door. So for me, that's what it's about. I do have a good example though. I just listed something in Baldwin Park. I think it was like a week and a half ago. And I believe in a campaign. I don't just do postcards and sit there. Like, I have a very structured campaign that I do to really hit the market and launch my listings.
Can we break it down?
My secret sauce. There's no, I mean,
No
it
one's
really.
going to copy it, I promise.
Yeah, as you get your notebook out. No, it really isn't.
They'll write it down, I promise you. We've done this long enough that I've learned we could record it and put it on YouTube.
But they
and
won't
they
do it, yeah.
still, very few people at least.
Yeah, it's really not any secret. It's what everybody knows. I just spend the money. I mean, I don't just say, okay, I'm gonna put it in MLS, and if I get a couple calls, maybe I can sell it right away. And if I don't get a couple calls, then I'm gonna do postcard. If I don't get a couple calls, then I'll do an open house. No, I mean, right off the bat, when we drop something, it's going across all platforms. We're doing the, coming soon marketing the day before. If we can, we're putting signs in the yards. We're, planning a broker's open. I mean, I think I've done a broker's open every week for at least the past month, where everybody else was waiting until after Easter. I mean, we've been out there. We've been doing it. We don't wait. Open houses. I mean, we do the open houses. So it is a structured campaign of hitting the market with a splash so that people can't say that they did not know about that property.
So how many different things are hitting someone?
So, so getting back to the postcard situation, so we listed this property in Baldwin Park. Baldwin Park has been very hot and cold. So we listed this property. We did our campaign. My team member did an open house, and we got multiple offers. Great. There's 2 other listings on the street. No offers. Nothing going on. So we the postcard for the just sold didn't even have time to hit. So Carolina on my team helps us with marketing, and I said, you know what? Let's go back before you send that postcard out. I want you to put on there. Sold in one day. That went out. Baldwin Park does what they call porch sale, which is their garage sale where they're allowed to do a garage sale. I think it's once or twice a year. So luckily that hit last week. The porch sale was last weekend. My people were out there selling some of their, items at a garage sale, and hopefully I will get some work from that because everybody that showed up said, I got this postcard. How did you do it? They didn't do it. How did you do it? So, and now they want to, speak our praises about how hard we worked. It's those things that pay off. You're not going to send out, like I said, 200 postcards and get one deal from it. It's just not that analytics. But when it hits,
Love
and it's
it.
going to give you the exposure.
Let's just say that you couldn't have pulled it and added that. Would you have sent another one?
I probably wouldn't have sent another just listed. I usually don't.
Would you have done just sold in a day? Or something?
I will send, my clients even said, will you send out another one saying just sold? And I said, yeah, when we get there, we'll definitely do that. But I love it when they want us to market, that's a sign of, what's funny is the seller's sister is an agent in another market. So she knows the deal. So she recognizes when someone's working hard. So that was a great compliment.
That's perfect. And by the way, I just want to mention there's not a wall here. So if you guys want to keep talking, anyone that is talking, we can hear you completely. And so you can jump right outside. It's not a problem, but it's a problem if you screw up the recording and the people up here because there's not really a wall. It's a theater. And we don't have docents, unfortunately. But, okay. So let's talk about daily habits. What's your day-to-day actually look like? Let's talk about day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year, or quarter. What are some of the things that you're looking at to keep your day on track, your week on track, your month on track, and then your, let's say at least quarter?
My day starts at 4 a.m. I get up, look at the news, go to the gym, get all my frustrations out of my system, and then I go to work. So I get home, I'm really starting on the computer about 7. I check where I'm at. So cte.biz or ctebiz, you can find it on Facebook. It's a tracking
CTE Biz?
Yeah, just committed to excellence. I've been using it for about 10 years now. And you just input you can input your leads if you want. I don't do that anymore. But coming soons, pipeline, actives, pendings, solds. And so at any given moment, I can pull that up and I know exactly where we're at. I have a graph showing where the closings are, where the potential closings are. So I know that's, for me, that's motivation, right? So if I see that there's a dip in my progress, then I know I need to double down. It's not a lot more scientific than that, although it's something I do look at. Because sometimes when I go on listing appointments, I get the rare question of, well, how many listings do you have? Well, I know the answer to that. What's your average sale? I know the answer to that. A lot of agents don't.
What about your market? Like, you're both probably very in tune with your market. What are the things you look at regularly to stay in tune with the market? Like, I'm always
I
amazed
know
that
everybody.
agents know what's coming and whatnot, and I laugh because I think some agents watch other agents to learn what's coming. Where do you go?
I know the numbers of the top 5 competitors. So if that comes up, I don't bring it up, but if that comes up, I can speak effectively about who's doing what in the market. Because it's, again, we have a pretty small market and there's only a handful of real players.
And do you
if
know
will.
what happened with pretty much most of the homes within your area, even when they're not yours? Are you pretty in tune enough that you know what it sold for, why it sold for it, things like that?
I get
How?
a notification every day. I have set my MLS up. You can have any market that you want. You can put a little circle around it, and you can just leave it open. So anything that comes active, pending, any change in status, you can see that. The bigger your market is, the more pings you're going to get. But for me, I see every single change.
Yeah, what are the
in my
things
market.
you have alerts to do?
Active, pending, sold, on market, off market, withdrawn,
And
back on
specific
market.
to your area.
In my particular area, yeah.
Okay. And Jenny, what do you look at?
Similar. I mean, we have amazing technology in Compass that I'm still delving into, but you know, I've always basically, let's say I have a listing in, we'll just say Winter Park, a townhome in Winter Park off of Park Avenue. So I'm probably already have a search for that, but if not, I'm going to create a search for all luxury townhomes that are selling in the area, active, pending, so like he said, and you know, I'm tracking and I'm going back and I know what's happened already, but I want to be alerted to anything else that's happening in that market, so that you know that we're sharp. So it's just great because when you set those up, you don't have to go looking for it. It's just in your email box. I mean, you're just being alerted. And I mean, my phone will buzz, ring, and you're like, oh, this person just closed for this, or this just went under contract. Yeah, I've got another listing, and the competitor just went pending. So I'm like, why didn't we go pending? So it just it keeps you sharp and fresh, so that when you get hit with at the listing presentation with, oh, my neighbor blah 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 got this and this and that, and it's like, oh well, really? Well, your neighbor sold that 3 years ago, and so you already know about it. Nothing is surprising you.
Love that. I want to ask you about the move you made, but before I do that, I'm going to add Mark into this conversation. Mark, you want to come up and join us, man? Y'all give it up for Mark Raumaker. We have a third mic somewhere. Oh, you already have it. Perfect. You just got to flick it. It'll work. Yeah, there we go.
Boom.
All right. And so now I want to ask the question because it's all correlated to the second question I'm going to ask you about. You're with a boutique brokerage for many years and dominated Winter Park and made a recent change. This isn't a commercial for any brokerage in particular, but talk about the ideology behind where you see the markets going in the future and why you made the change. That's the question I really want to ask you guys, is about the future of our industry, but I want to talk about why you made a change.
I wanted a bigger platform. I saw where things were going the past couple years. I've been really watching. I saw the conversations happening. I knew that there was going to be a merger. I knew that the companies that were really going to succeed going forward with the AI, with all of the just all of the programs and structure and support, really needed to have a lot of technology. The boutique I was in was great, but it was, everything was still paper trail. There wasn't a lot of technology. It was all things that I was pasting together to be highly competitive, but it was all outsourced from third parties. I'm very much interviewed everybody that was in my market over a year's time, and then decided to make the change. And it was a lot. It's been big. It's still big. So I'm about 5 months, maybe 6, getting to 6 months, and the ground is settled, but I'm still learning new systems and still putting things into place. So yeah.
Technology and national reach, I'm assuming.
Technology, national reach, just referral partners were something that's gravy that I never expected to have. A lot of other agents in other markets referring, and I've had tremendous support. Physically, a lot of them are here today.
You got David here, I know, at least.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
let's give it up for the crew that supported.
Yeah.
Anybody that's here makes noise.
I've never had technology support that wasn't someone I hired. So full-time technology support, agent experience managers, all of that. It just makes my job easier to be able to concentrate on what I do really well. And to make sure that other people that know way more than I do on how platforms work are really making that smooth for me.
Love that. By the way, can we give it up for Mel's support system, Tina, who's been here before everybody else got in the room? I meant to say that earlier when he referenced her, but I kind of got sidetracked. But I want to ask you, Mel, you've been boutique, and you've also been with larger brokerages. Why are you where you are? And again, this isn't about pitching the brokerage, but more of what are you evaluating, what are you valuing, so people understand what's important.
Well, as she already pointed out, the boutique brokerage can be a great experience, but there are a lot of limitations. And for us, when we went from, so we were at Complete Boutique, was a big box real estate brokerage partner, but for us, the real catapult into the space that we wanted to be in, which is the space we're in now, was taking the next level of what we defined as luxury, and that was partnering with a local Christie's brokerage. They had 5 offices around town. Chris Christensen, great guy, and we founded the Lake Mary Christie's office. That level of perceived luxury from the consumer's perspective is what really opened things up for us, and there is a definitive uptick in our growth. And when Sotheby's purchased all of the Christie's offices, it was very much a like-for-like transition for us. They're very similar, and the larger Sotheby's brand, the referral partners, the opportunities there really helped out. But the brand, it does matter, especially if you're just starting out. What's your value proposition? And how do you build on that? And it starts with you. Well, Mel B first, right? But the brand is it's an invaluable partner.
I love it. I was going to make sure I specified brand, but you hit it already. So Mark's got to be laughing right now because he knows how much I'm teeing him up for what we talked about and how well you teed up what he wants to talk about. Let's talk about what you're seeing in the market that agents are struggling with the most and feeling the most, Mark, and also why did you make a move to where you are?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the three of us are at the brokerage model's super interesting. We're at uncapped models, right? So I feel like there's a battle between the capped models versus the uncapped models, what it is, what it's not. I was with 2 other brokerages before and they were capped, and I felt myself kind of, this is my personal experience, my perspective, I felt myself DIYing a lot of stuff, like doing it myself. I figure it out, I want to be in control. And then after a while, I just got tired. But what I was doing is I was going to the brokerage and trying to find the cheapest one because I was spending so much money on myself and on my team and on my admin and all this stuff, right? So when I started looking, I started researching all the brokerages. And to me, I had a shift in thinking, well, why don't I just pick a brokerage that I'll pay, and it's like an investment as opposed to a cost, right? So the way I look at it now is it's uncapped. As long as I get value back, I'll give them $200,000-$300,000, right? I don't care as long as I get it back. And I feel like a lot of times when I talk to agents, they're so worried about their split, they're so worried about their cap, they're so worried about the cost. But then we go and talk to a buyer, right? And we're talking about investing and not renting. But the whole time, I feel like a lot of us are trying to rent a brokerage as opposed to invest in it and own it and embrace it.
Love that.
Yeah. But what you're saying, I think a lot of agents are having trouble.
And she led to this.
Yeah, is like
inadvertently.
Technology, like being like we all like see it coming. And I think it's society too, right? It's not just real estate. It's this AI thing that just like this cloud hanging over us. And what's that mean? Nobody knows, right? We're trying to figure it out in real time. But I think in your business and real estate, who's grabbing onto it, who's embracing it, who's like breaking it in real time and trying to figure it out and then giving it to the agents and teaching the agents as well.
You said there's really 2 areas that some people feel like they're either being left behind with where they're at, or they are embracing it, and they might not even see that this is it, but we talked about it. AI, and what's the other one?
Media.
So we realize that the people that are embracing AI and media are standing out head and shoulders above the rest. But here's the other thing that I wanted to talk about because of this is not whether or not you're with brand, but the people who are with your own brokerage, boutique, anything. What we're hearing is that brand matters. Like as a whole, what we're hearing from everyone is brand matters. And so what I would think someone could take from this, whether they're with a large brokerage or not, is that they have to take control of the brand or join a brand that already takes control of the brand, if you will, or both. Oftentimes it's both. Like Mel B, Jenni Sloan has to be Jenni, not just with Compass, but she can also be with a brand that she knows is taking care of it. Like Mark has to be known, but he can also know that SERHANT's taking care of the brand in a way that isn't going to let him down, and is probably going to continue to expand. And so I think what's important, I wish I should have had Kyle join us, but I didn't know if he'd have enough time for him. But and he will be here next month. But we were going to talk about a little bit about some of the people that are building their own brand, but they're doubling down on their own media, their own stuff to make sure that something is setting them apart from just another agent. Because what I heard from Mel, without him saying it, and what somewhat the same with Jenni, is that when they're hitting a mailer, when they're hitting this stuff, they want to be elevated above other agents in the market. And that when you're with the right brand or when you've built the right brand, you're able to elevate and position yourself at a little bit higher way to compete for the big stuff. Is all that fair? The way over some. All right, cool. Let's talk a little bit, Mark, about and then the rest of you guys, future real estate. Since you're having this convo every day about AI and media, where do you see the future of real estate? Where do you see those two things playing in, and or other things? But where do you see the industry shifting towards?
Well, I think it's obviously consolidating, right? I think agents are consolidating. Listen,
And I should say, and what's that mean to people?
Yeah, in the peak of COVID, there's like 6.1 million transactions. Now there's 4 million, right? And there's just as many realtors. So I think there's a reality is like who's gonna outlast, who's gonna get faster, who's gonna get quicker, who's gonna get smarter, right? We're all trying to do it, but then also still do the postcards. You have to do that stuff. You have to still do all the stuff. So I think ultimately, like, there's just going to be a massive consolidation of the people that are struggling are going to either get a real job, get a normal job, right, or just like fade away. So I'm excited about that. I think a lot of us are who do deals with those agents, but also I'm anxious to, as from my seat, is helping those agents as well, like how to figure out how to get faster and smarter and quicker.
What do you think agents listening to this could be doing to get faster and smarter and quicker?
I mean,
You
my
can
wife,
give me
my
a
wife's
few
here.
steps,
She's gonna
a
make
few
fun of me.
steps.
I spend a lot of time with AI. She calls Claudia when I'm in there by myself with it. I think there's a lot of, I think instead of using AI for generic stuff, I think really get in there and dive deep into what it can do. I even had a brainstorm, I'll share, I had a brainstorm this morning of, like, you can make a custom chat GPT, right? I think if you don't know how to do that, you should figure that out. You just go into ChatGPT and say, how do I do this? And they'll tell you. You can make a custom ChatGPT for a homeowner that you just closed on and put all your information on there, put your plumbers, your electricians, your everything, and be like, hey, I made you a custom ChatGPT for closing. Congratulations, here you go. And then they can open it, and it just tells your seller how amazing you are all the time. So I think there's just ways to go in and really like break it, right? And even your
I got to learn that.
yeah, it's easy. It's really easy. You just talk to it. That's it.
We're doing a workshop afterward.
Yeah, I'll be glad to. I love it. But even your CTE thing that you do, like, you can build your own now. Like, you can do it on your own. You can say, actually, this is my business, and you just talk. Like yesterday, my wife, we're working on the transaction stuff.
You can even code it into an app.
That's exactly what
Vibe code it.
You can. You can totally say this is what it is. I want to rebuild CTE, and I don't want to pay for it anymore.
I rebuilt all our websites, and I know nothing about websites.
You can build landing pages. You just speak into it, but you have to but you can ask it questions. You can say, this is what I want to do. Guide me, and it will.
It's pretty crazy, right? Yeah. Since we're talking about this, what are the other biggest things that people aren't using AI for that you were like, oh, sweet, I could use it for this, and you're like, damn, people in this room probably don't know that. Like, I'll give you one to tee up. We found this venue and other venues because it does our event venue research. It spits out tables of not just where we could do events and who to contact and what their price range is. It also spits out the most photographable places within an area. So, for example, if you're out shooting content with your photographer, or if you are a photographer, we were doing content days in all different parts of town. And at the time, we weren't doing in builder models. So I was getting lists from AI about like where outdoor art, parks, murals, anywhere that was like Instagrammable, photographable within a certain radius. So I'd know all the best places to shoot a photo in Winter Park. So if we're shooting a shoot, like, not that everyone needs to shoot a shoot, but what I'm getting at is some of you guys are shooting content out and about. You might be able to do the research and get your whole plan and things like that. So just a little thought. But I was just trying to give you a second to think
No,
about.
yeah, I think different things. I think what like you were saying with the emails hitting your inbox, knowing like this was what pending that. I think that's a good move. But you could also like, there's been times where I'll get connected with a seller especially. I'm like, oh, I haven't sold in that area. I got to figure this out. So I'll say, hey, I'll call you in 10 minutes, and then I put it in either Perplexity, Claude, and ChatGPT, and I say, this is the address. Deep research. Give me everything you need to know about this house, history on it, the neighborhood, what's happening in there, all that stuff, and then I just cram, and I have it up when I'm talking, right? And I become an expert within 10 minutes.
It's scary.
Well, a little bit, yeah, right? But also, like, I'm competing with you guys, right? We're competing, like, so that I'm like, they've been there for 20 years. Right? And I still might not get it, but at the same time, like, I gotta
do something.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way my mind works.
We just told them how to do it, though. So
It's fine. Yeah, but there's enough business to go around.
No,
right?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I think but that's the kind of stuff I think we all have to embrace really fast too.
It'd be
right?
so funny. You walk into a Winter Park listing, you pull it out. You're like, Jenny already did that.
Hit the same verbiage. Like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
same
We just look
cash.
like
Yeah,
robots.
Yeah, yeah,
She showed us that trick already.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't think I let you both answer where the future of the industry, where you see it going. Did I skip? I skipped.
I'll tell you what my hopes are. I hear a lot about things going to, all lock boxes and there's no more agents. Beth Hobart sent out a funny Instagram the other day and I was like, yes. It was like, can a robot do this? Can AI do this? And it was her moving cushions, moving furniture, hanging, a robot can't do those things. It can't critically think like that. Lower price points, maybe those things will happen, but I think that, and what I hope happens, is that people want a higher bar of service and want critical thinking and want someone to help sit down with them and strategically plan, like I think we all do. To sit down and talk about, okay, you have a double contingency sale, you want this, you want your kids in school here, you need all these pieces need to be put into play. Can you ask GTP? Sure, I'm sure it would give you some answers, but it's not going to humanize the experience. It's not going to sit down and help you, with emotion and with care and with diligence, handle those transactions. So I hope that people understand that we are a profession. I'm really tired of people saying to me, gosh, I didn't know you guys could be so professional. It makes me sad about our industry. I want people to want more and have a higher bar of service.
I got a question about this for the audience, just to reiterate your point. How many of you guys, when you call a business, enjoy reaching a person instead of a phone tree? Raise your hand. How long have phone trees and virtual assistants and overseas phone centers been around? A couple decades?
Yeah.
Did we get rid of customer service people? Does anyone still answer a phone?
Not really.
I was about to say, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
But a few people still do.
Yeah.
And we all still appreciate it, am I right? Mm-hmm. So just a thought, I think when agents get nervous about the industry shifting, I'm like, shifting, that's a great thing. You'll have the people that are just as good as a robot will have to get out or get beat, and you'll still be better than a robot by a lot, with maybe some robotic help.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought I'd share that thought. Mel, where do you see it going?
Well, I agree with Mark and Jenny. I think AI is going to create some incredible efficiencies that I haven't even scratched the surface with yet. I still do my initial research manually. I do give
too.
I
I'm
give
old
myself
school.
about a 30-minute window. I never take a
But
call
I might try that later.
right away because I want to be prepared. So that's just a good point. No matter, the point is be prepared. AI can help you be prepared. You can do it the old way. But to Jenny's point,
The kind of old way. Like some people in this room, I'm guessing most of this room at some point went and saw an encyclopedia and did the whole index card thing. Maybe not on real estate, but for something. I mean, isn't that crazy?
But AI will not take the human factor out of real estate. I think it will create a better appreciation for those professionals who can guide their clients or their customers through the whole process, no matter what the pitfalls are. They do want to have somebody, unless you're going to have some bleed off, because there's going to be people who just want to do it automated and not worry about it. But that is going to be a long, drawn-out process for that to take any reasonable market share away from you, me, everybody out there, right? So where does that leave the agents, the masses of agents? I think there will be larger teams. You'll need to latch on to somebody who has a system in order for you to stay alive long enough in order to create your own. Or you may find that fantastic synergy and stick with it. But I think it's going to get more efficient, but I think there's still a place for us for the very long term.
Are any of you growing your teams currently? I want to make sure I give you the chance to say it if you are. Is anyone here
Well,
looking?
I just did. I mean, I had a
Is
team
anyone
of 3.
still
now I
growing,
grew.
though, like
No,
potentially?
I mean, not right now, but
Okay.
I'm open to it in the future. I kind of enjoy having a small, mighty team. We each have our lane, and that's where I'm happy now.
Mel?
We just brought somebody on for the first time 6 months ago. We're still digesting that. It's not something that we're avoiding, but it's not on our radar.
Mark, it's what you're doing, basically, for a living. Yeah, we won't even, we don't need to go there. I just wanted to make sure I asked if y'all are. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys are doing differently, or let me rephrase my question. Let's talk a bit about some either misnomers or mistakes that you've made, like things that the people in this room might be doing that you think is probably being done wrong, whether it's you used to do open houses this way and learn that this was more effective, or you used to send these types of postcards and this was better, or you used to say this, or maybe you didn't. You get what I'm saying? Like, give me 1 or 2 nuggets of something that you learned that to tweak in your approach to real estate that some people might still be doing wrong in your eyes.
Be consistent. Pick your method of attack and stay with it. If it's postcards, if it's online media campaign, 1 month, 2 months is not going to cause success. You may get the lucky lead, but you need to have yourself in front of people, your target audience, repetitively in order for them to realize who you are and what you do. Just one and done is not going to work, and agents often get frustrated with the length of time and the investment when it has to be a commitment. So
How
be
much do you spend?
persistent, be tenacious.
What do you spend in a year on postcards?
Well, fortunately, we've actually pulled back on that, but we were spending, $50,000, $60,000 a year.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a lot of postcards.
Can I ask what, in the years you're spending 50, 60, about what are you selling, or can I?
Well, I look
actually,
at it
we
as
won't-
you spend 50, 60 on postcards, and you'll do $50, $60 million worth of business. So for us, it's not like we want to do this campaign and get so many leads out of it. We've graduated to the point where it's just continued brand recognition, selfless self-proclamation to everybody in our market.
Sure.
By any means necessary, and that's how we.
And some years will be different than others. Yeah, and it's not in your hands. Let's just be honest. If you're showing up as the prominent agent in your market year after year after year, then where the market's at and whether more people are buying and selling will impact how often your phone rings extra. You'll still sell plenty, but am I wrong to think that when the market's hot, that just means that all the people that know you are calling more often, and when it's not hot, it means that some of the people in your network might call less often, but you're still out there selling. So I think people forget that part, which is the consistency matters, because maybe everyone's not ready to buy today, but when they are ready to buy, who are they going to buy it from?
You can't just answer the phone when you think someone's wanting to sell or buy. I mean, you've got to keep talking to people, and you have to keep yourself open for all those conversations, even if it doesn't lead directly to a sale right now. Because, I one of the things that I see as a big mistake right now is that I think Mel and I touched on this for a second. There's just a lot of agents right now that are trying to become sort of celebrities, and it's very agent centric. And there's nothing wrong with your brand recognition and exposure and people recognizing you and all of that, but it's starting to get away from the properties. It's becoming all about the agent that wants everybody to know them when they show up wherever they are. And I think we need to get back to what we're supposed to do, which is serve other people and help other people with,
I'll give you a round of applause for that thought. We might as well. That'll be a reel for sure.
Well, great. But I think showing up, I mean, do I have some properties that I have on lockbox? Sure, I will. But most of the time, we're showing up. We're showing up. We're showing the property. I'm handling it like I would want to handle it if I was selling my parents' property. We're telling people about the area, the school, all the things that we've just talked about. It matters. It matters if the lights are on and if it smells good and if the smoke alarm is beeping. All of those things matter. If you show up and you're excited about this, home that you're about to show, and you've got the doors open and the window blinds are open, not only are you going to sell it faster, you're going to get them more money. And here's another thing, I've gotten new business off of that in the future because people have said, I like how you did it. I want that. And that's very unexpected and never the reason I do what I do. But it's nice years later if they want to make a change and they're interviewing other people that they know who would be representing them and what we would do. I get tested all the time at open houses. If you don't think you are, you're crazy. Neighbors are coming in and seeing how you hold open houses, what you do, how you do things, and if you're sitting there scrolling on your phone, not getting up, not talking about the house, not handing out a flyer, not being excited, that's you're going to lose something in the future.
Last month, Jenni Weimer said that every listing is an opportunity to market how you'll treat someone's listing
100%.
if you sell their home.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was just so true because people are forgetting that how you shoot the photos, how you do all this stuff, it's not just about selling that house. It's about what do you want the people to see what you're doing to think of your business.
Yep.
And I think you guys all three of you are perfect examples of, without noticing, like that's a commonality in that nobody's going to watch a glimpse of Jenni or Mark or Mel and be like, oh, that's not what I want. Like they're always, in all ways, going to show the brand that they want people to think of, the type of person, the type of work ethic, the caliber of like luxury quality, and I think that that's really important is that Mel said it, but to keep it all consistent and that people are thinking of you in a way that stands out. How many of you guys have learned something from this group so far? I didn't let you answer that question yet, did I, Mark?
What agents are doing wrong?
Yeah. Before I,
I think you're right. I think that people are so obsessed with media, and obviously it's a big part of what I do, but they forget that they have to be in sales, and they have to be empathetic, and they have to trust the sellers and buyers have to trust you. So I think that a lot of people are so obsessed with creating reels and TikToks and YouTubes and stuff, and they're not putting the reps in, right? They're not understanding what it takes to actually close a deal and listen to, like what you said, like my kids need to move here by this date. So when you actually get in the house, you have to be super skilled and you have to listen and you have to react and you have to be empathetic and you have to make sure that you're giving them an actual game plan where they're trusting you as opposed to like, hey, look, I did this funny video, now I can sell your house. I think a lot of agents are just confused on how they're different.
And how they're positioned. I mean, can I got to say this since we're here. Can you guys imagine Jenni or Mel doing a video where they're dancing in someone's kitchen?
Right, that's not their brand.
Maybe
right.
we should.
No.
And some people it does, like I'm not saying everyone that dances is, but what I am saying is like I see people whose page says I'm a multi-million-dollar luxury agent and then they're doing dancing videos and it's like that doesn't always connect well. Being approachable and doing dance can work, like you got people on your team and they dance around the house and it works.
That gets
but they're
you
not
in the
dancing
room.
around a mansion.
But then when you're in the room, it's like, okay, now we're it's business. Let's talk business. Tell me your game plan. What's going on with you? What are your worries? What are your stresses? Now I'm a real estate agent.
I love
right?
that.
It can be fun. I don't take that away from anybody that wants to do that. I see other people in other markets, and I enjoy watching. And I'm like, oh, that's funny, and they're killing it in their market. Just be authentic to who you are.
That's
not authentic for me. I mean, if someone saw me doing that, they'd be like, she's on drugs. So not that I can't have a good time, but that's just not my thing. So don't force yourself to do something that you're not. Be who you are. If that's who you are, then do it.
Go dance. Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yeah. One more time, how many of you guys have learned something so far? I got one more question for this audience, but could we give a round of applause for Dave and all the sponsors and all the speakers so far? I'm going to ask one more question, so we're not done. But I want to make sure we plug because it didn't run on the screen the way that it should have, and I didn't want to screw up what's on the screen to fix it. So next month, May 21st, we will be at venue on Lake Lily. That's the old Maitland Civic Center where we've been before. We're doing a reverse masterclass, essentially. It's called Ask the Expert Agents. Instead of having a bunch of experts in the front of the room, we're going to have them spread around the room with round tables and chairs, and it's you guys asking the questions. I'm going to shut up. You guys can ask them as many questions as you want, grill them with the questions. We'll give them a list to revert to if you don't have questions. They'll just keep going to it. But if you're like, I want to ask Mel this, and there were 10 things I would have asked, and Aaron doesn't ask the right questions, then join us next month. May 21st, 9:30 to 11, and we'll have a whole bunch of people. We haven't put out who's speaking, but I have like 27 people that said they would, so we're going to just figure it out. If you're one of the people that wants to speak, let me know. How many of you guys want to come join us next month? Raise your hand, make some noise. So I'll send that out. Make sure you register. And here's what I want to ask you guys. If I dropped you off in a brand new market tomorrow that you weren't from with like a phone and a backpack, how would you rebuild your business? What would you do today if you started somewhere where they don't know you, they don't know your history, and you had to show people that you're a top agent because of your skill set, if that makes sense, not just because of, all the years of doing it? Like if you had to go from scratch, what would it look like? Where would you start?
I would do the same thing, farm an area wherever I lived or wherever I wanted to target, like Mel said. However, I did hear something interesting. It was an agent I was talking to in Texas, very successful, Dallas or Austin. And she said she goes to Starbucks and she sits on a certain morning, Thursday morning, Saturday morning, and she's there at the same time every week, and she buys like up to $200 of everybody's coffee. And that is her business model. And she is very successful because of that, because of, people rolling in, whether they're tourists or whether they are to live there. So if I were to get dropped off in another place, I might try that.
I love that. That's awesome. Mel, what would you do?
I would join a large brokerage with a good brand. That's the first thing I would do. I'm licensed in multiple states, and we just launched in the Jackson Hole area, and I went with Sotheby's again. I would do the same thing.
That was Jackson Hole, not Jacksonville, right?
Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Just making sure I caught.
Yeah, totally different. Other side of the world, right? And
I figured people missed that, so
but I would start there. I would build a great website. You'd have your social media, so get those tools in place. I'd have my favorite spot, a typical high visibility spot. Attend some open houses, get to know some of the other agents. Track the market, see what's going on, and just general outreach to try and meet people and start a campaign of whatever my target area was.
Love it. Mark?
I would make as many friends as possible. So I would go to public places, sporting games, events, and I would be very curious. I would tell people I'm new to the area, what's there to do, what do you love to do, blah, 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 and I would create a connection and say I just moved from Orlando and I'm a real estate agent, blah, 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 all that stuff. Find a commonality real fast, and then I would go shoot a video on whatever they told me what was a great spot. What's the best coffee shop? And I go shoot a video there, and then I would text it to them and show like, hey, I did this, and I would just rinse and repeat that as fast as possible.
Great idea.
Love that. Is there anything that you guys wish everyone in this room heard today or knew? Like if I gave you a soapbox for 60 seconds, is there anything else that you wish you could share with these people?
Just, get up every day, be disciplined. I mean, applaud yourself for being here. I mean, like Aaron said, there's a lot of agents that don't know why they're not successful right now, but they're not coming to things like this. They're not doing the hard work. They're just sitting by their phones waiting for the market to get great and waiting for gold to strike. And it doesn't happen that way. You have to work all the time in every market. So I would say that just be disciplined, get up in the morning with a plan of action of what you're going to do, and make sure you're hustling.
How long have I known you for, Jenny? Do you know?
I don't know.
I was thinking about
24
this.
years, maybe something like that.
I was 17 or 18.
Oh my
I sold
gosh,
kitchen
with the
knives.
knives, yes.
I sold Cutco in her
Yes.
kitchen when I was like 17
I was
or
like,
18.
who is this guy? Like, leave me alone.
You still have the knives?
And listen, and that's what I respect about you. I respect a hustler. Like I may or may not, do business with you, but I'll remember you and I'll respect you and I'll probably help you.
I don't sell the knives
Yeah.
anymore, just so no one's offended. I mean, if you need knives, I could sell them, but I'm not trying to sell the knives. Mel, you got Cutco too, don't you?
I do.
It wasn't for me,
It's still
though.
sharp.
Love it.
It's actually our favorite cutting knife, I think.
This was all a Cutco employee, by the way. No, I'm kidding. Anything you wish that you could share?
Yeah, I agree with Jenny. Having discipline, it's just like a real job, even though it's anything but sometimes. Take care of yourself first. Pick whatever it is that you need to do for yourself that makes you feel good, because that'll set your day up for anything else that you're going to encounter. But sit down with somebody, whether it's your broker, even talk to a more successful agent in your office. There's no secrets here. You will be surprised of how forthcoming they'll be in assisting you, and they're may not take you on as a teammate or as a partner or whatever the case is, but I think you'll get some nuggets from them. And if you have a fantastic transaction that you're a little nervous about, don't try to do it yourself and risk the failure. Bring on somebody more experienced. You'll learn from that transaction. Your customers and clients will respect the extra level of effort that you took, and that's what you can use to then build your business even further. So,
love that. Mark, I didn't ask you enough questions, I feel like. So what should I? What do you want to make sure people heard?
Listen, these two are so calm and collected, but I know that they grind and they hustle. But they're so polished. It's so amazing.
It's crazy because I can see everyone's on the edge of their seat, even when they're.
No, they're so they're just like, oh man, I would hire both of you right now. But at the same time, nobody's like, the fact he wakes up at 4 a.m. I just went over everybody's head. That's insane. But I'm jealous that I can't do that. If I woke up at 4 a.m., I would be way better. So now I'm like, damn it, I have to wake up at 4 a.m. now.
The Miracle Morning is a book.
Right, yeah. So
I'll be up at 3 tomorrow.
Yeah, but I will. I think it's just like your way, but like just outwork. There's so much competition. It's healthy. It can be like sometimes where it's just so scary. You're like, I can't do it. What am I supposed to do? Everybody's so much better than me. I think just guide yourself, like just outwork yourself. Like work hard. If you have a day where not a lot happened, the next day is there, and just keep working hard, keep grinding, keep making opportunities. Like that's what's great about this business. Nobody's telling us what we make. Well, we can all sell 60 million if we want to, right? You guys can sell 80, 100, 200, 5. I don't care. But just like work hard.
Love that. Love that. Let's give a giant round of applause to everybody that spoke today. How many of you guys learned something? Make some noise. And one more time, make some noise if you can bring a friend to next month's session that's also a realtor. Okay. Not a vendor, just another realtor. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys for coming out. And you'll get an email with next month's info. Make sure you register. Help us share it, fill the room, and ask a ton of questions, because it's only going to be as good as the questions you ask people. So I'm going to have a bunch of top agents, and you're going to want to come with your questions because I'm not asking them. Thanks, y'all.